Okay, here we have some thick liquid. I use this for a monster that shoots ink. And Roah has like a poison shot thing, I think. That sounds like this. And what this really is just a the chaos, which is like I don't know, a random modulator affecting the peak of two filters and an EQ, and then the playback pitch of a bright white sample. Sounds like this without the filters. And then you add a high filter. Then you add a peak. And then another. And this one has peaks too. And the chaos is affecting all of these, so you can adjust how it sounds to make it sound thicker, slower, sizzly like sizzling bacon, slower, water, and then you can, let's see, adjust how much it affects things. That's the filter frequency, the cutoff of the filter. Ooh. Oh yeah, and that's the possible range of the pitch here. And you can get these to sound more watery or more pure the more you affect the Q here. So you can get a pretty, or the resonance. You can get some kind of glass shard sounds. And then we have sizzling acid, which is about the same thing. To me, this sounds like sizzling bacon. And it's kind of being happened the same way. I just think I have a different, maybe, range here. Really the same thing as the last one. Then we have water dripping. And this is the same thing. I just have a higher resonance here. And we're still randomizing everything. And this has a total, that I'm using the total range of its possibility here. Right, and then a single bubble here. What is this? Okay, this is just filter tricks. So right now I have LFO envelope 2, making the pitch go all the way down. This is just a saw wave. And then the filter is a bandpass 24, and with a kind of a high resonance, and that is connected to envelope 2 as well. Nice bubbly sounds here. Juicy pop. This is just LFO1 making the pitch go up and down. Right? And then this is a bottle blow sample wavetable. And it's just going up and down with those. And the effects, just a little bit of hard clipping, and then the pre-filter right at the high point. I use those for cute kind of sounds and Roah. Here's a... Alright, if I'm editing this, this is the part that I'm gonna start over again. Yeah, this is cute water drop. And this is just LFO1 affecting the pitch of a sine wave. You can hear how it's different here. And these you can get to sound a little bit nicer with a little distortion, like old video game. Serum thick bubble? Bubble. Oh. This one is just going through 2 different wavetables. Which I think came with Serum. I don't know, I've bought presets before. And then it's going through the wavetables. And then we have a filter, which makes a lot of the noise. It's raising the, the phaser, it's raising the feed. And then the distortion goes up. And the frequency goes up with, what's this modulator one? With a lot of gain. So here we have a rock slide. And this is wicked. And this is, so I think I got a sample preset pack a while ago, and it came with kick drums. And so what I'm doing is I'm randomizing the playback of where the kick drum is with chaos. So if I turn that off, it'll sound, let's see if I can find it, like this. Oh, it won't even play. It sounds like this. If I just do a single, it's just kick drums. But then if I put that on loop and I have that randomized, it'll play the kick drum all over the place. And then you can raise this up, and then I don't know, to my ears, it ended up sounding like kind of a rock slide, depending on how you EQ it. And I have a rock fall, I think, that uses the same trick. I mean, come on, this is a real. This sounds like a rock fall. Yeah, so we're just randomizing the possible playback of a kick drum. And this, we just add an envelope to it. And this, where are we at? This just allows the filter to go up so it sounds like a foot is stomping or something. That's reverse. And yeah, that plays about the same speed as the envelope. I use the kick drum also in this. Roah goes into an old door, and I'm doing everything in Serum, so I was trying to figure that out. And I realized that I could have the kick drum kind of go down. So for me, the kick drum here is going up. What's it connected to? It's going from a slow playback pitch to a high. And then there's just a little white noise. And there's only one noise patch here, but in Serum you can use FM synthesis from the sub, and then FM synthesis from sample B or A. And if you use 3 of those in a row, you basically can get a second ability to use white noise. So this is just kind of like entering the door, but also a door creaking. I don't know, I thought that sounded really fun. Let's see here. This is just white noise. This is supposed to be when Roah opens a map. And yeah, this is just white noise, and the pitch, the playback speed is going from LFO1, and then we have LFO1 also affecting the EQ. And then, oh, this isn't doing anything. And then we have the frequency. It just to me sounds like a magazine paper. Just a filter trick. And this here, it says rubber gloves, wet footstep. Yeah, so this one I needed to, I think, have some wet footsteps or some squishy, maybe it was like leaves or something. And I basically, it's mostly just EQ. You got a lot of pitch going up and down here, and FM synthesis from the noise here, which is just noise. Sorry, it's not very loud. Then I just add a filter that makes it a little squishy, and then an EQ that's also connected to this. to make it even more squishy. So it's affecting the lower and the higher end. But all the work is really done right here on the top EQ. Oh, this one's fun. This is bees. Bees is really easy to make. Or insects in general. I mean, really. So you just have I just have, let's see, a small little, I don't know what you call that thing. It says basic mini here. And then I have my little chaos, I believe, affecting the pitch. And all the work is really done with the unison. So you just have a couple more waves come in. And then you have a swarm of bees. Or bugs. And this is kind of hidden. I didn't realize this for a while, but you can also have a range of unison. So I have it adjusted in different times. So I guess the bigger unison, the more bees of different size. But at some point there's a sweet spot. And the EQ is just boosting the low a little. And then, let's see here, I have some bugs flying. This is... this is me. Let's see, LFO1 is on a cutoff. We have just a noise here going up and down with LFO1. Then we have another filter in here, a high pass. And this is also a high pass, kind of a high resonance. And then I'm pretty sure what I have is a chaos affecting LFO1 rate. So yeah, this LFO is affecting everything, but the chaos is affecting this LFO. And if you play it high, you can get some bugs. Or you could play it lower, I think. You get some fat, chunky bugs. I use this for Roah's wings and the character's wings. Wind is one of the easier things I did. I just have bright white noise going into a sharp filter, right, with a high resonance. Just around certain areas that it seems like wind sounds like. And I think this one is probably being randomized by something. Let's see here. The chaos again. No, LFO3. Yeah, and then a little reverb on the end, and that's pretty much it. That's for ambiences. We used a little bit. Let's see the next wind. Same thing. You can create some pretty simple wind. You have bright white noise going into a bandpass filter that's kind of being randomized. You can imagine this is a real cold day. And then I have a slow one affecting the EQ, which is probably one of these. No. Yeah, so there's a lower tone that's kind of down here. If I crank it up, it sounds like that. And this is pretty thin. I think you could thicken it up, you know, make the bass a little louder. And then the tempo ambience, which I think we may have used. Real similar thing, I just have some delay on there. And I'm just using white noise and just picking a specific frequency that seems to be resonating. And also the white noise is being played a little lower. You know, it could be up here, but if you pick around here, it's playing it back lower. This is kind of the magazine frequency I have. Serum blowsing air, I can't spell. Well, this is for a sea enemy that's blowing stuff at you. And this is just using regular white noise. Right? And then LFO1 is affecting frequency and cutoff of a bandpass filter, which is a multi-filter here. That's without it. That's with it. And the character blows bubbles at you, and I think it sounds good. This is rain or thunder. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This one here, what the heck am I doing? Once again, I'm randomizing the pitch of this bright white sound source, and I'm randomizing the cutoff of a high pass with kind of a high resonance, and then we're sending it into a little distortion. Doesn't add much, but it's nice, and then some EQing that cuts off of stuff. I think this is originally rain, and I just made it into thunder, but you can kind of hear a little thunderiness in the background. Yeah. I mean, if you listen long enough, you could start to hear what I would consider rain or a storm. Okay, so next we have electricity. This was really, really hard for me to do. I think it came out okay. I still wish it was better, but what can I say? It sounds like this. I imagine you're getting your finger shocked. And what we have here is LFO1 affecting a bandpass filter. Right? We got EQ boosting a lot up here. And compressor doing a little help. And I think LFO1 is at the highest it can get. Right? So it's creating some pops. And then the sound source here is a spectral table, and I have the LFO affecting a wide pitch range, I think. Nope, probably the chaos knob, huh? Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, chaos 1. So this pitch is being randomized really fast, and then it's being sent into this bandpass filter. And you can get some good electricity, depending on where the keyboard you play in your settings here. Then we have a Jacob's Ladder sound for also when you're shocked. Ow! Oh my gosh! The electricity is crazy. So yeah, this is just going up the wave table position of a spectral. It says thin, thick. And it's going up the sync. So without the sync, it sounds like this. And then, so it sounds like it's going up a little. And then the drive of a low filter, the level of a sub. Let's see what sub sounds like. A square wave, which has got more teeth, right? So that's pretty good. And then FX-wise, delays not really necessary. Distortion. It goes LFO1 affects the drive here of the tube. And then also, the frequency of the EQ is being affected by LFO1. So it gives it that jumping back feeling. I think. Gotta play it right here. Ah! Shocking. Let's see. Serum, fire, blow. I created lots of different types of fire, and this one here is mainly using, I think LFO1. It's mainly using, a randomizer to affect the drive of a down sample. So we just got some white noise. And let's see if I can figure out what this is. So we're gonna turn off the level here. Oh, I see. Yeah, let's hear what it sounds like without it. Yeah, you can get some good sounds with just the drive of the down sample and randomizing it. I've been trying really hard to get fire, and this is kind of what I got. It's not exactly perfect, but it has a little bit of a fire flavor if you work at it enough. And then I use the filter to just as a volume. Let's see. Character shoots fireballs. That sounds like this. And so we have a noise. And that level raises, but is also we're getting FM synthesis from the noise filter. So without it, we just have this sound right here, right? And these are both really low. Let's see, -3, -4 octaves. But with your noise filter affecting both of these, it becomes closer to actual noisy sounds. And then with your pitch really low, you're actually getting, it's almost playing the wave like so slow that it's going like up and down. Yeah, if I lower it, you can hear it. And then this, we have our, what is affecting it? We have our LFO1 affecting the drive of another downsample, but also it looks like that downsample is being randomized by chaos. And then you have one of these bad boys affecting the frequency of this EQ here with some gain on it. So it's giving that's the shooting sound. Remember the cue video of the lizard guy. All right, so we got rocket, blast, and fire. Oh yeah. So same type of thing here. We have some noise being randomized with the pitch of it. Then we have our downsample being randomized without the EQ or the filter. It sounds like this. You know, some good sounding fire here. And without the downsample, it sounds like this. Maybe it could pass for rain. So randomizing this downsample is pretty darn good. And then we can use these to make it more like a rocket blast. Just depending on where we start. And then let's see here, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Now it's really blasting off. And once again, all this fieriness is really just thanks to this chaos here. The chaos is doing all this work here. It's going all over the place, creating some random glitches. Then we have rocket thrusters. Which could be considered fire. It's a similar thing. I have downsample jumping all over the place via the chaos modulator, and I have a pitch frequency, which you don't really need, but it kind of adds some flair. So without it sounds like this. And then we have the EQ bumping up where the flames would be. And you could use this to create a flyby of a plane, rocket, like we did in the last one. And then also the bright white sample is being randomized. And then we have a filter of a flange. And the cutoff is being randomized just a little. Without it sounds like this. I don't know, it gives a little bite, little edge. This is a gun, which is not the best gun, but making a gun was really, really hard for me, and this is the very best I could possibly get. And this is just white noise, once again, with LFO1 affecting the pitch, and affecting the EQ of some low end here, and taking out some high end. Right? Oh yeah. So here's what it sounds without it. And we got a little tube on, and we got a peak filter I have. And the funny thing about this is I was like trying so hard to make a gun, experimenting with all sorts of stuff, and then I looked in under miscellaneous and it had gunshot. And it's perfect for me. Could be a little better, but it's good enough. Punch impact. Oh yeah. So I have the game uses some classic Indiana Jones punch sounds because I think that's fun. And basically we just have some bright white noise. LFO1 is going up from low in the pitch, right? Starting low, ending high. It's following this, LFO1. And then, and then at the very end, there's a little psh, and this is volume that's affecting the mix of the distortion. And I have pre on, and I have a specific kind of EQ setting for this, which is right where the punch sound is. Right? And if it's, you know, could sound better or worse, but then you distort it a little. Give it a little decapitator and you have yourself like a good punch sound. And the same thing with the slap. We have a character that sneaks up and slaps you. And that is just basically noise. The noise filter is going into a saw wave, but I'm not sure. Well, I guess it matters a lot. And it's all following this LFO here, but the main work is just a very specific frequency range that's following LFO1, which seems to be around in the slap frequency, is what I would say. Okay, jump whoosh. Oh yeah, so this is just a whoosh. I have sub going into FM synthesis here, and also and then A going into here, which creates a noise, a second noise sound, right? And then I have actual noise also, and then I have a filter. That's just a sharp bandpass filter that I believe follows this with a high resonance. And so when Roah is jumping around, doing air tricks, or you're punching, or maybe there's some like tail attacks, I'm just doing that. And also I doubled it up with a peak of the EQ here. And I have the keyboard button set, so when I play in different areas, it plays different pitches. It was easy for me to experiment with that. Jump Whoosh 2. Let's see. Jump Whoosh 2 sounds rad. I used it for a lot of different things. The main source is it's going from the fastest playback of bright white noise to basically none, right? And it's following envelope 1. But the real sound, I believe, comes from the phaser in the chorus. I got the depth really high and the feed almost at the middle. And it gives it a real good wateriness. And also I have the phaser on, and if I have this... How do I take this off? Alright, can I just have the thing play? There we go. I mean, this phaser is another great way to get some water. Let's get this going. And this is affecting the cutoff here. Oh. Listen to that. It's awesome. I mean, that's a good way to get some watery sounds. I used Phase Mistress on one of the sounds, but then I was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to limit my stuff. But Phase Mistress made some awesome water. But yeah, this whoosh sound, I don't know, it's cool. It's got a unique sound. I use it for jumping. Metal spikes. Spikes that come out. I have LFO1 affecting the pitch here. Probably could do without it. And it's also affecting the noise pitch. That's because the spikes come in and out. But all the work is done over here in the reverb. I came across this on accident. We're doing a metal armor that you can knock off of an enemy. I needed some metal. I was messing with the reverb, and if you have the size really high on plate, it sounds like this, but if you have it really low, it ends up creating a real metallic thing. I use the same one in Metal Hit. Right, we're just using the noise here, and then the noise is going into FM synthesis of oscillator A. Right? And then all the work is done in a reverb. So yeah, when you're hitting the armor of a character, or there's certain damages that sound like metal, it's really just imitation of plate reverb, which I guess in real life was metal, so that would make a lot of sense. And then metal stab, what's this? Ooh. So yeah, this may not sound like a metal stab to you, but to me at the time it did. So I have, what do I have here? LFO1 is just following the pitch from up to down on oscillator 1. I am getting FM synthesis from the noise filter, and the pitch of the noise is being affected by LFO1 too, so it goes from low to high. And I don't know, to me it sounds like a metal when you hit something with metal. Let's see here. Plush toy. We have a boss that throws plush toys at you. And I mainly just took LFO1 and I just did I did a little bit of noise going up and down. But mainly LFO1 is just going into the pitch here of a kind of a warbly sine signal. And that's mainly it, I think. You can make a million things out of this. Cute wobble. Yeah, this is the same thing I did at the beginning, bubble type sounds. I just have LFO2 affecting both of these, and then I have FM here, which you can turn on. FM synthesis from B. You can make some pretty easy Sega sounds right here. We walk on logs in the game. And I needed some wood footsteps. So what I have here is some chorus noise going out. I have FM synthesis, which sounds like this. The level is totally down on B, and A is open. And I think most of the work here is just LFO1, right? Oh, no, envelope 1. Well, one of these things affecting... Oh, wait, I just saw it. Oh, just affecting the filter. So really you just have a nice little cute sound with some FM synthesis, and then you got a low pass filter on, and you're walking on wood logs. Squishy wood logs. Alright, Roah has kind of a tornado-y, drilly tail. And I made this sound for that. And this is from 3 different serum instances. The first one just has some noise. I think I got rid of these here. And it's following LFO1, which is an envelope, and that envelope is affecting this filter. It just creates a whipping noise sound. The second one, oh wow, is creating this windy bubbling sound. I'm gonna have a crazy LFO2 affecting the band filter cutoff, which is basically just dealing with noise. Right? Well, get this to keep going. Anyways, yeah, noise that's being created from the sub going into Sine here, FM synthesis, and then that going into A. And then the rate of the LFO2 is being affected by probably one of these. So that just creates a swirling sound. And then after that, we have what? We have a drill. Okay, so we have our 2 saw waves here. LFO1 is making the pitch go up. Right? And then we have FM synthesis coming from oscillator A with the level down, so you can't hear it. And without it, you have this, and with it, you can do a Sonic the Hedgehog spin with this pretty easy. And then FX-wise, nothing's really happening. In fact, I think I have a Sonic spin. Sonic? Are you in here? Oh, yeah. And that's the same thing. This is the pitch going up on both oscillator A and B, the wavetable position on A slowly changing, and then FM synthesis being sent to A to B from A, and the level down on it. Sonic the Hedgehog right there. And lastly, we have explosions, and this is couldn't be done without Decapitator here. Let's see what I have. Let's see, what's this one? All right. Oh no, not that. We have a pitch being sent down, just a sine wave, and also the level is going on that so it doesn't go on forever. That's creating the traditional anime sound. Then we have some noise, and that level is going down in volume via envelope 1. And once again, I have the little keyboard setting on so I can play at different places. Then we just have a little bass on the EQ, right? And most of the work is being done with Decapitator. So here's one. I got it cranked up here. I got it on Punish. I think I have another instance here after it goes through an EQ, which is going to raise these bass frequencies and lower some of these here. And the second one sounds like this. I like the old anime 80s and 90s sounds. I was trying to make an anime sound effects library, and I was working on it, and I learned this. So yeah, we have 3 different size explosions, and most of the work is just done with how long it plays out. Little short explosions, and then longer ones that just keep going. Also, you can, the pitch of the playback sample here for noise really does affect it a lot. This is like a really old school. this effect. And then you can always crank up Decapitator even more. And that is explosions.